Hi everyone, my name is Sophie Lu and I am the Undersecretary General of Conference for PACMA 2022 and I'm here with Mayor Lynne Robinson and we're here to interview her as our amazing closing speaker. So Lynne, you can introduce yourself.
Well, thank you Sophie for coming here to talk to me today. My name is Lynne Robinson. I've been the mayor of Bellevue. This is my third year, been on the council for 9. And I'm originally a physical therapist. So I had my own business for 20 years. I was born and raised in the East Bay area behind Berkeley. And I kind of fell into politics by getting involved in the community. I was on a board at the city of Bellevue, an advisory board, and then I moved on to another board and I became chair of that. And I just was very inspired by how responsive the city of Bellevue is to the community. And I always wanted to be a part of that.
So our first question for you is, as a Model United Nations alumni, what were your experiences then and what did you take away from it?
Well, I was a sophomore in high school when I was recruited to be part of the Model United Nations, and I was a page. And we traveled to different parts of the United States for conferences. And honestly, I feel like when I talk to you, Sophie, about what you're getting out of it, I think you're getting so much more out of it than I did because you seem so much more mature than I was at that time. But I think, you know, the collaboration that goes on there and, you know, there's no arguments. It's more working out disagreements or differing ways of looking at things. And I was really impressed by the conversations that went on between the represented countries while I was there. And I must have taken that diplomacy with me subconsciously because I think I'm more diplomatic than some people.
Yeah, so talking off of that, what were your career aspirations in high school and how have they changed? And what spurred that change specifically?
Okay, I had no career aspirations in high school. It was very different when I was growing up. You know, women really weren't given permission to have real career aspirations. So my choices were being a housewife or being a nurse, neither of which, or a flight attendant. And none of those really appealed to me that much. So on the last day of the deadline to apply for college, I applied for college because my girlfriend told me I should. And I just picked a school and I went to that and I went for a couple of years and my teachers really inspired me while I was there. And I realized how much I could learn and just the people I met inspired me to pick physical therapy as a career. And I started all over with my college education in my senior year, and I got back in and I did pre-med and I ended up doing super well in that. And then I got into Northwestern Physical Therapy School. I ended up getting my doctorate from Regis in Colorado, and I started my own business. And then you know how I got into politics.
Yeah. Right, so what you, bouncing off what you just said, how is it like being a woman in a male-dominated political space?
You know, in the beginning, it was very hard. And I think about my first engagement that I had as a council member. I was invited to give a speech at a Victory Day celebration for the Russian community. And I asked my husband to go with me. And when we walked in, they took him and they took his arm and they ushered him into the banquet room onto the center stage and put me in the back of the room.
Oh, no.
And I was so mad at my husband. But I had to explain to them that I was a council member, not my husband. And so that was my introduction to the man's world. But I would say that today things have changed significantly. You know, less than 10 years ago, only 2 out of 15 mayors in this region were women. And now I think it's the opposite. I think we only have like 2 men and the rest are women. So I have the privilege today of treating everybody as if they're a woman. I don't have to act like I'm a man. And seems to be going okay.
Yes, and that's a great mindset. All right, our next question is, you had pursued a doctorate in physical therapy. How has that helped you in your political career and your political aspirations?
I would say the only thing that I can detect that has helped me in my work representing the city is I took so many statistic courses. So I look at data in a very in-depth way, probably more than most, and that definitely informs my decision making.
And then this is in terms for our younger delegates. What is your opinion on youth civic engagement and the importance of political involvement?
I think it's really important. I think that if you have the courage to speak your mind, to represent yourself, or even just to represent other people, you should do it. And it's not easy, and it's not always easy to know how to do it effectively, but it's okay to make mistakes. And I think you should get as involved as you possibly can, but I do believe in being diplomatic about it. You know, I think that you always need to respect the people you're speaking to and the people you're speaking about. I'll tell you the first time I was engaged politically was when I was in high school. I was asked to speak to the PTA for smokers' rights at high school, and it's not even something I believed in, but they asked me to do it, so I got up there and I had spent all day writing and memorizing my speech. And I stood up at the meeting. I said, my name is Lynne Robinson, and I'm speaking for the rights of smokers on our high school campus. And my mother's best friend said, Lindy, sit down. This is ridiculous. And that was the end of my speech. And I was so embarrassed because she's my nickname. But it was just kind of like not being able to be heard. That stuck with me. Even if it was ridiculous, they should have heard me. And they should have respected that I was there on my own time and I had prepared for this. And so I try to always remember that when people want to speak to me, that I give them their chance to speak.
So many say that a career in politics is limited to those who major in public speaking or are usually conventionally lawyers. What do you say to that, and how have your experiences challenged that?
I would totally say no to that. I think that when you ask yourself what a leader is, it isn't necessarily somebody who speaks well. It's not necessarily somebody who's confident in front of an audience. It's not necessarily somebody who commands the room. It's really somebody who's been called to leadership. It's a humbling job. And it's somebody who can put their own interests aside and represent the people that they have been elected to represent and do it effectively.
And for our final question, what is your advice to those who are unsure about their future careers and life goals, since, understanding your career in high school is not easy to ask for?
I would say don't worry about it. Just do the things you love and keep an open mind and be bold. Go out and get experience in doing different things, and I think it will come to you.
So I'm the Director General of PAC-1 this year, Emily Mo, and I would like to thank Mayor Robinson for joining us today. And do you have any last words for the delegates?
I just want to tell you how proud I am of you two and of all the energy and the work that you're all putting into this program. I think it will benefit you in the long run, so stick with it.
Okay, so we'll be moving on. Thank you, delegates, for coming to closing.